Just over 5 minutes away from our first on course. And the Grand Prix Qualifier sponsored by JTWG. Noon for the first of 64 on course for round number 1. That first round track measured at 490 meters. First round time allowed at 79 seconds. 490, 79. We'll get underway at noon, just about 6 minutes for the top of the order. Just about a minute away from our noon kickoff with today's three-star Grand Prix qualifier sponsored by JTWG. JTWG Equestrian Surfaces Incorporated is one of Wellington International's most diversified and effective partners. The company, which is family-owned and operated, has extensive experience with building world-class riding arenas as well as managing complicated maintenance projects for any size and type of facility. With extensive and worldwide connections, the professionals at JTWG are your one-stop shop for property upgrades and project management. Don't hesitate to stop and talk to one of their knowledgeable team members when you see them hard at work around the grounds, helping us to keep the property as safe and competitive as possible. 64 to show round one. We'll take a midway break following our 31st on a course for today's JTWG Grand Prix qualifier. 79 seconds, that first round time allowed, 490 meters, the round one length with 13 numbered fences and a total of 16 jumping efforts. Canada, the First Nation represented for today's JTWG Grand Prix qualifier. Lexi Ray joins us, owner-rider out of Campbellville, Ontario, with the 13-year-old Hanoverian gelding, Crazy Friend. Score of 8 with the knockdowns coming at 3 and at 12. 8 for Lexi Ray and Crazy Friend. First round time allowed at 79 seconds. First reference there at 73.07. Mexico up next. This is Alberto Michon and his own entry. 12-year-old Dutch-bred gelding, Joint the Cannabis, Van der Dernhoeven. Knockdowns at 7 and 10. It's a score of 8 for Roberto Michon with the joint the cannabis. Van de Doorn Hoover, second reference time in at 76.62. Germany's Tony Storm is now with our MF Balewinski, owned by the Rushing Marsh Farm. 10-year-old Westphalian gelding Bamba Luz Bellini. Just the 4 faults for the number 43 ranked U25 rider, Tony Stormans, with the Rushing Marsh Farms RMF Balewinski. Knockdown coming at A of the Palm Beach Equine Clinic double combination. Third and final rider reference time in at 77.88. Round 1 time allowed staying at 79 seconds as we welcome our 4th on-course winning rider from last week's Vault Insurance Classic. This is Chloe Reed with the Team Reed's Crossover 4. Winner from last Saturday's Classic, our first to go clear here for the JTWG qualifier. Chloe Reed with crossover 4 at 75.96. Michael User next to go, 5th in the order. The round for Carolina Garcia, the 13-year-old gelding Dom Perignon. Score of 20 for Michael Hughes and Carolina Garcia's Dom Perignon. Already twice a winner on the grass this week. Tanner Karak are next to go. The ride aboard the 9-year-old Dutch-bred gelding IB Mercedes, owned by the Sandalwood Farms. Knockdowns 3 and 7, 1 on the clock at 79-74. A total of 9 there for Tanner Karak and IB Mercedes. Seventh to show, Alexandra Worthington with the De Loiselier, owned by Turn a Blind Eye LLC, the 13-year-old French-bred gelding by Capital d'Argon. $76-17, knockdown at number 3 for Alexandra Worthington and De Loiselier. Mark Blumen next to go with SNL. Hello, Sunshine. Top 50 in the world standings, a champion from the Hermes Meter 50 Series at the Winter Equestrian Festival this year. The ride for the SNL Farms North Salem with a 9-year-old stallion by Diamant de Semille. 76-75, clear round for Mark Blumen with SNL Hello Sunshine, our second to go clear for round one of the JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. Quentin Judge are next to go with H.H. Griffin Van de Heffink. Winning rider from the Bainbridge Company's Open Meter 40 stake last week are next to get the start. He's piloting a 14-year-old Belgian sport horse mare owned by the Double H Farm. Quentin Judge, H.H. Griffin Van de Heffink. $76.60 clear. Quentin Judge, H.H. Griffin Van de Heffink. We now have three qualified for the jump-off round. Ireland's Paul O'Shea are 10th in the order. The rider aboard of Manglar Lacia. And 12-year-old gelding by Cantarell LS, owned by the Manglar Partners. $75.92, that's clear for Paul O'Shea and Manglar LS Lacia. Now the combination for Ireland, Shane Sweetnam and Corian van Klapschuit Z. Combination with Grand Prix and Adequan Web Challenge wins this season. Shane jointly owns this entry with Voquest LLC. A 10-year-old designers at a gelding by comme il faut. Shane Sweetnam, Corian van Klapschuit, they are 11th to show 4 clear so far. $78.40 clear round is Shane Sweetnam, Corian van Klapschuit Z. 4th in a row to go clear, bringing us up to a total of 5 qualified for the jump-off round. Mexico's Maya Rani next with the 12-year-old Dutch red gelding Jantien de Meuse by Triumph de Meuse, are 12th in the order. $74.22, just the knockdown at number 7 for the number 31 ranked U25 rider Maya Rani with Jantien de Meuse. Grand Prix winning combination are next to get the start. The rider from Germany, Rupert Karl Winkelmann, with the 13-year-old Dutch bred gelding in Moto, owned by Eckendorf Horses. Home on 8 with the knockdowns at 9 and at 12B for Ruben Karl Winkelmann and the Eigendorf horses Imoto. U.S. rider out of Austin, Texas, Catherine Hofstutler with her own Independence. TN, 13-year-old Dutch bred gelding by I'm Special de Muse. Score of 8, 76.95 the time for Catherine Hofstutler and Independence TN. Fifteenth rider on course representing Brazil. This is Michelle Feitosa for the Trifle Farm, Norfolk, Connecticut, with BP Nikita, an Irish bred gelding by Conair. Brazil's Michelle Feitosa just the knockdown at number 10. 75.91 the time with BP Nikita. Margie Engler next to go. Show Jumping Hall of Famer with a ride for Garber. Show horses, Bartholomew and Gleedwins with Deacon's. Finishing up on 12, the time 75.90 from Archie Engel and Deacon's. 5 clear so far. Delaney Flynn gets the start next. The ride for the Windsor Show Stables with the 12-year-old Holsteiner mare, Cassinia. Finishing up with 12, 74.93, the time for Delaney Flynn with the Cassinia. 4th place combination from the qualifier last week. Number 67 in the world, Natalie Dean with the 13-year-old gelding Con Calma, owned by Marigold Sport Horses. Single knockdown coming at number 6 for Natalie Dean and Con Calma. 76.17 the time with the 4. Ashley Vogel and Voquest Otis Blue, 12-year-old Belgian bred gelding by Jaguar van Pamel. Knockdowns at the final two obstacles, 12B and 13, to finish on a score of 8 for Ashley Vogel with VoqueQuest's Otis Blue. For Spain, this is Juan Manuel Gallego, and the ride for Pablo Mejia Equestrian with the 10-year-old Dutch bred gelding Lloyd by Nomalissar. Correction, this is Amanda Derbyshire as our next to go. Amanda aboard Cornwall BH, the gelding by Con Air. Owner rider a 20th to get the start. $75.69, just the 4 for Amanda Derbyshire with the Cornwall. Spain's Juan Manuel Gallego now with Pablo Mejia Equestrian Lloyd. Lloyd, a 10-year-old Dutch bred gelding by Nomalissar. $76.72 with the score of 8 for Juan Manuel Gallego and Lloyd. Holding on 5 clear as Caroline Mawini joins us with her own Hallelujah, the Dutch bred mare by VDL's Rocco Blue. Caroline Mahoney retires with Hallelujah. We've seen 22 so far, 5 clear. Chloe Reed with the crossover 4. Mark Blumen with SNL Hello Sunshine. Quentin Judge with H.H. Griffin Van de Heffink. Paul O'Shea with Manglar Elasia. And Shane Sweetnam with Corian van Klapshoot Z. Top 100 in the world standings. It's Egypt's Nile Nassar to go next with the 11-year-old ESI Ali. The Irish bred gelding by Staccato Gold, owned by Evergate Stables. Clear round 76-79 for Egypt's Nile Nassar with ESI Ali 6. Now qualified for the jump-off round in the JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. Canadian Sean Jobin on course now with Grand Dame DK, the 10-year-old French-bred mare owned by Antrim Equestrian in Schomberg, Ontario. 74-12, a score of 8 for Sean Jobin and the Grand Dame DK. Cali Shot, Diamond Touch are next to go. The U.S. rider showing an entry from Southern Arches, 10-year-old Holsteiner mare by Diamant de Simier. Number 73 in the world standings, finishing up with the pair of knockdowns. Cali Shot with Diamond Touch. Owned by Southern Arches at 75-65. Dylan Daly and the Double C Stables, Cinderella Z, the Irishman, are next to get the start for the JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. Clear round 74-77 for Dylan Daly with the Double C Stables, Cinderella Z. 7 now qualified for the jump-off round, the JTWG qualifier. USA's Allison Robitaille next to go. The rider aboard her own Claire de Lune, 33. Single knockdown late over the round one track coming at B of the Palm Beach Equine Clinic, a double combination. It's just the four faults. There at 76-78 for Allison Robitaille with Claire de Lune with the knockdown at 12B. Bliss here's now. Bliss on course with the French-bred stallion, the 11-year-old Ferrinho de Mec, owned by the Bridgeside Farms, Las Vegas, Nevada. $76.49 for faults for Bliss here's in Ferrinho de Mec. Luis Pedro Biravena are next to go, the Argentinian, piloting an entry by the name of Vasco 109, German-bred gelding, an 11-year-old by Vigo Darsouz. Finishing up on 12.77.39 for Argentina's Luis Pedro Biravena and Vasco 109. We'll see two more before the midway break. First of those two with the USA's Brett Kemper with the Westphalian gelding Arpeggi, owned by the Arpeggi Group. 8 for jumping, and 1 on the clock at 79.69 for Brooke Kemper and Arpeggio. USA's Charlie Jane and Midas. The 9-year-old Dutch Bit of Gelding about up to date, jointly owned by Charlie and Nicole LLC and Margaret Derrimer of Naperville, Illinois. Eight, the score for Charlie Jane and Midas. Takes us to the break for today's JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. And at the Midway break, 7 are clear. Chloe Reed with the crossover 4. Mark Blumen aboard SNL Hello Sunshine. Quentin Judge with HH Griffin Van de Heffink. Paul O'Shea with Manglar LS La Cia. Shane Sweetnam partnered with Corian Van Klapshoot Z. Niall Nassar with ESI Ali. And Dylan Daly with Cinderella. 7 clear, expecting 5 of those 7 back for the jump off at this point. We'll take a quick break, 8 minutes or so. We'll be back underway with another 31 to show for round 1 of today's 3-star Grand Prix Qualifier presented by JTWG. JTWG Equestrian Surfaces Incorporated is one of Wellington International's most diversified and effective partners. The company, which is family-owned and operated, has extensive experience with building world-class riding arenas, as well as managing complicated maintenance projects for any size and type of facility. With extensive and worldwide connections, the professionals at JTWG are your one-stop shop for property upgrades and project management. Don't hesitate to stop and talk to one of their knowledgeable team members when you see them hard at work around the grounds, helping us to keep the property as safe and competitive as possible.
Bainbridge is a fully integrated multi-family real estate company who have developed and acquired more than 43,000 units, representing $8.1 billion in transactions since inception. With over 650 associates nationally, Bainbridge engages in virtually every step of the real estate process, from development and construction, acquisition and disposition, asset management, and third-party management of multifamily real estate. Bainbridge is an award-winning, nationally ranked developer, owner, and builder of luxury multifamily communities across the eastern U.S. and Southeast. Our team of experienced and knowledgeable professionals is devoted to creating exceptional living experiences for all of our residents and building lasting and mutually beneficial relationships with our partners and clients. Bainbridge is headquartered in Wellington, Florida, with offices and apartment communities across Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Virginia, and Maryland. As we continue to grow, we are actively expanding our footprint across the Midwest, Southeast, and Mid-Atlantic markets. To learn more, visit www.bainbridgecompanies.com.
Florida Coast Equipment understands the equestrian way of life, and everything you introduce into that life should be uniquely created to perform within it. So, we created the Kubota Winner Circle Tractor Package. Designed exclusively for riders who expect uncompromising power, precision, and performance. Because every seasoned equestrian knows it has to be a Kubota.
There's a gentler side of Florida, just waiting for you to discover it, where America's first resort destination was built and genuine hospitality began. A place with cleaner sands, warmer waters, and fewer crowds. A place different than the rest, one that exceeds, excels, and surpasses all expectation, waiting here just for you. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches.
My first goal when I decided to be a professional is to become like the best horsewoman I can be. It's really important for me to find a balance with my family, with the horses, that is my passion. Work with the horses every day to do what I love. I used to have like one passion was the horses, and now I have two with my daughter. So I really want to have this balance in my life. I'm Marie Ecart, I'm a professional show jumper representing France, and I'm Lola's mom. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
Nobody tells you how quickly they move into your heart, or how quietly they become your whole world. They'll teach you patience without a word, courage without a question. You're not crazy. They just don't know horses like we do.
So to get back underway with the JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier, 7 clear coming out of the Midway break. Another 31 to show for round 1 before we set for the jump off this afternoon. We pick back up with Germany's Tiara Bleicher and the 12-year-old Belgian-bred stallion Otto de Calvary. Zero jumping, just the 1 on the clock for Tiara Bleicher and the 12-year-old Belgian-bred stallion Otto de Calvary that are going to 8th behind our 7 that have gone to clear. Thomas Joffrey next, the Argentinian aboard an 11-year-old Dutch-bred gelding Kingston on Stellium Sport Horses. $16 the total for Argentina's Thomas Joffrey and the Stellium Sport Horses at Kingston. Top 20 in the U25 standings. Lena Haas next with their own Casino Royal Z, gelding by Clintissimo. Finishing up with 12, 78.43 the time for Elena Haas and Casino Royal Z. Next to show, Isabel Cox with Mimosa van der Rollebeek. Riding for the Rafferty Farm, a 14-year-old Belgian sport horse mare by Castellino van de Helle. .24 jumping, 21 on the clock. Holding on the 7 clear from before the break as Caitlin Connors joins us. So with the 11-year-old gelding Quinto do Bernay, the ride for Juan Pablo Betancourt. Caitlin Connors retiring with Quinto do Bernay. Turkey Seltzer Coxalon now with an entry from Layla Stables, the 13-year-old gelding Quartus Totalis C. Eight jumping, 2 for time. Total of 10 for Quartus Totalis Z and Seltzer Coxalon. Daniel Cairns the next to go. The ride aboard Dia set to the Irishman, showing the Gotham Enterprises entry, an 11-year-old Hanoverian mare by Dia Continus. Home on 12 for Daniel Cairns and Dia set. Canadian Maria Delorier with Eugenia Le Benaville. French-bred stallion by Carpentol d'Argonne. The 10-year-old owned by Lucia LLC. Score of 8 for Mario Delorier and Genial de Benneville. Got the Enterprises entry. It's the USA's Georgina Bloomberg, the next rider to join us on course. This is the 15-year-old Holsteiner mare, Casina. Finishing on 16, time 76:45. Spencer Smith now, and an entry owned by Don Stewart and Ashland Farms. 13-year-old Irish bred gelding, HHS Seattle by Pacino. Just within, single knockdown. It's a 4-fault score for Spencer Smith with the Don Stewarts and Ashland Farms, HHS Seattle. With the rider board Kimbo 171, this is the USA's Lucas Porter, partnered with an entry from the Sleepy P Ranch, an 8-year-old Oldenburg mare. There's a clear. First to go clear after the midway break, 77-59, the time for Lucas Porter. And Kimbo 171, giving us a total of 8 that have gone clear. Vanessa Hood and Khalida, a rider for Israel aboard an 11-year-old mare by Anomalous R. Take 2 LLC entry, Khalida and Vanessa Hood. That's a clear 78.43 for Vanessa Hood, and take 2's Khalida. 9 have navigated the first round track without fault. 7 before the break, 2 cents. Those 2 clear cents are Midway break coming from Lucas Porter and now Vanessa Hood, bringing us up to a total of 9 clear. 7 of those 9 expected back for the jump off. This will be our 45th to get the start to Colombia's Pablo Mejia with Lontender. The 10-year-old Dutch bit of gelding by Up to Date, jointly owned by the Colombian rider Pablo Mejia and the New Sprint Farm. $12 in the field, 3 against the clock. That's a total of 15 for Pablo Mejia and Lontender. Olivia Sweetnam receiving the tone, our next rider to go. And Olivia is aboard Epic. Epic, an 11-year-old Anglo-European gelding by Billy Mexico. Number 32 in the U25 rankings, aboard an entry owned by the Sweet Oak Farm and Monica Preston. Olivia Sweetnam and Epic. Clear round, Olivia Sweetnam and Epic at 74-41, bringing us up to a total of 10 that are now clear round one of the JTWG qualifier. All right, let's Robert Blanchett up next, showing an entry from Ryder Smith, Watsonville, California. 15-year-old mare Chardonnay, Balcon Milfo. Score 16 for Robert Blanchett and Chardonnay. Venezuela's Luis Fernando Razabal and Diarube. 14-year-old mare by Diarado, owned by Oakland Training and Sales. First to 15 remaining. 10 clear so far. Score of 8-74-09 for Luis Fernando Razabal and Diarube. Show jumping Hall of Famer BZ Madden next on course, and BZ piloting a 9-year-old Dutch bit of gelding at Mickey Cara, owned by the JMS Group, Casanova, New York. Total of 16 for BZ Madden and Mickey Cara. Wilton Porter next to go with the Kentucky and the Sleepy P Ranch entry, an 11-year-old Dutch bit of gelding by Carrera VDL. Heads up at the gate, horse coming back. Third place rider from yesterday's Florida Coast Equipment 2-phase. And next to go, this is Alex Matz with Viva Pleasure PS. Entry owned by the 5-Star Partners, Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. $12B and 13. The two knockdowns there for Alex Matz, Viva Pleasure PS, total of 8. With the 5-Star Partners entry, 74.03 the top. Tony Mara Macari next, the rider from Mexico aboard at DAX at 68. 10-year-old gelding by Dinkin. Tony Mara coming off a win yesterday on our $32,000 2-phase, the first of our 11 remaining competitors for round 1 of the JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. $76.71, just the 4 for Tony Mara Macari and DAX 68. $10 clear so far, 10 left to go, round 1 of the JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. Michaela Langmeyer next to go, first of our 10. The U.S. competitor aboard the 8-year-old gelding Isidore de Charlus. Entry from the Rafferty Farm, first to 10. Knockdowns at 6 and 7. 2 more for time. It's a total of 10 there for Michaela Langmeyer with Isidore de Charlus. Luis Sabino Gonçalves and Sigma Stables Scoop de Septonzi. Portuguese rider piloting a 12-year-old Zangers at a gelding by Hunter Central. $12 the total for Luis Sabino Gonçalves and Scoop de Septonzi. Bled Caroli and Kingston. Up next, the 11-year-old Dutch bred stallion owned by BK Equestrian LLC. First of 8. Score of 8 to 77-53 for Bled Caroli and Kingston. Chris Pratt next with Lollipop. 10-year-old Dutch-bred gelding by Cape Coral RBFZ, the Canadian rider. And they take the high road entry, first of our 7 remaining. Eight in the field, 1 for time. 79-11 for Chris Pratt and Lollipop. Spain's Gonzalo Busca up next with Ricard Himmelschutt. The Spanish rider partnered with a 9-year-old Belgian sport horse gelding by Glenfiddich, VDL. Eight for jumping, 2 on the clock, a total of 10 for Gonzalo Busca and Ricard Himmelschutt. 5 remaining, round 1 still holding on 10 clear. Lily Keenan first to 5, and Lily showing for 5 roosters. Top 30 ranked rider aboard the 11-year-old Zengerside stallion, Anton. Lily Keenan first to 5. Home on 12 for Lily Keenan and Anton. Brazil's Luciana Lucio up next with Lady Louise. J-Men, first to 4. Finishing up with 8 for Brazil's Lady Louise. Still with the 10 clear, another 3 to go for round 1 of the Grand Prix Qualifier, sponsored by JTWG. Germany's Simone Wittmann next with his own Cloella Domfe. 12-year-old mare by Classic Bois Margot, first to 3. Clear round for Simone Wittmann and Cloella Domfe, bring us up to a total of 11 that have gone clear round 1 of the JTWG qualifier. Another 2 on our start list before we adjust for the jump off. Olympic rider Tiffany Foster next up with Steadfast, an 8-year-old gelding by Diamant de Simi, owned by Artisan Farms and Kemp Farrington LLC. First to 2 left for round 1. A total of 5 knocked down in a time for Tiffany Foster and Steadfast at 79-78. Final combination, the USA's Ali Wolf and the 9-year-old mare Esperita de Bruel, owned by the Esperita Group. Just the 4 fault, 76.50 the time for Ali Wolf and Esperita de Bruel. That was our final combination for round 1 of the qualifier today, sponsored by JTWG. 11 clear, 9 of those 11 expected back for the jump off. It'll be Chloe Reed, the first to return with the Team Reed's crossover 4, followed up by Colombia's Mark Blumen for the SNL Farms with SNL Hello Sunshine. Quentin Judge and the Double H Farms H.H. Griffin, then to have Fink going third. Paulo Shea Batten clean up with Manglar LS La Cia, owned by the Manglar Partners. Then we'll see Ireland's Dylan Daly back for the Double C Stables with Cinderella Z in that 5th spot, followed up by the USA's Lucas Porter with the Sleepy P Ranch owned Kimbo 171, going 6th on our callback list. Vanessa Hood for Israel with Take Two's Kalita will be the first of 3 remaining for the jump-off, followed up by our final 2 combinations, the USA's Olivia Sweetnam with the Sweet Oak Farms and Monica Preston's Epic, and Germany's Simone Widman, our final qualifier. That coveted last spot on our jump-off list with Chloé Laronfe. Today's $62,500 3-star Grand Prix qualifier, sponsored by JTWG. JTWG Equestrian Surfaces Incorporated is one of Wellington International's most diversified and effective partners. The company, which is family-owned and operated, has extensive experience with building world-class riding arenas, as well as managing complicated maintenance projects for any size and type of facility. With extensive and worldwide connections, the professionals at JTWG are your one-stop shop for property upgrades and project management. We'll be back in a few minutes making adjustments to the course. 9 to jump off for the JTWG Grand Prix qualifier.
Bainbridge is a fully integrated multifamily real estate company who have developed and acquired more than 43,000 units, representing $8.1 billion in transactions since inception. With over 650 associates nationally, Bainbridge engages in virtually every step of the real estate process, from development and construction, acquisition and disposition, asset management, and third-party management of multifamily real estate. Bainbridge is an award-winning, nationally ranked developer, owner, and builder of luxury multifamily communities across the eastern U.S. and Southeast. Our team of experienced and knowledgeable professionals is devoted to creating exceptional living experiences for all of our residents and building lasting and mutually beneficial relationships with our partners and clients. Bainbridge is headquartered in Wellington, Florida, with offices and apartment communities across Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Virginia, and Maryland. As we continue to grow, we are actively expanding our footprint across the Midwest, Southeast, and Mid-Atlantic markets. To learn more, visit www.bainbridgecompanies.com.
Florida Coast Equipment understands the equestrian way of life, and everything you introduce into that life should be uniquely created to perform within it. So, we created the Kubota Winner Circle tractor package, designed exclusively for riders who expect uncompromising power, precision, and performance. Because every seasoned equestrian knows it has to be a Kubota.
There's a gentler side of Florida, just waiting for you to discover it, where America's first resort destination was built and genuine hospitality began. A place with cleaner sands, warmer waters, and fewer crowds. A place different than the rest, one that exceeds, excels, and surpasses all expectation, waiting here just for you. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches.
My first goal when I decided to be a professional, it's to become like the best horsewoman I can be. It's really important for me to find the balance with my family, with the horses, that is my passion. Work with the horses every day to do what I love. I used to have like one passion was the horses, and now I have two with my daughter. So I really want to have this balance in my life. I'm Marie Ecart, I'm a professional show jumper representing France, and I'm Lola's mom. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
Nobody tells you how quickly they move into your heart, or how quietly they become your whole world. They'll teach you patience without a word, courage without a question. You're not crazy. They just don't know horses like we do.
We saw 61 in round one of today's three-star Grand Prix qualifier sponsored by JTWG. 11 clear round one. 9 of those 11 back to compete over the short track to determine our winner here for the qualifier. And it'll be Chloe Reed, our first to return. Chloe aboard Team Reed's crossover 4 is the first of our 9 combinations for the jump off. Double clear today for Chloe Reed and a crossover 4:43.94, the jump off time. Mark Blumen, our next to return. Mark aboard the SNL Farms SNL Hello Sunshine. (48.25.4) and the jump off round knocked down at number 13 for Mark Blumen with SNL Hello Sunshine. Follow Shay now at the 12-year-old gelding Manglar LS La Cia, third of 8 for the jump-off round. Chloe Reed, the rider to beat currently on that time of 43.94 with Team Reed's crossover 4. Just the 4 over the jump off track with a knockdown at number 10 for Paul O'Shea and Manglar LS Lacia. It is the quicker of our 2 4s, and the jump off goes into second behind our only clear over the short track so far, coming from Chloe Reed with crossover 4. Fourth of our 8 to return, Ireland's Dylan Daly with a ride for the Double C Stables with Cinderella Z. Time to beat still at 43.94 from Chloe Reed and Team Reed's crossover 4. Best time so far at 43.70, but it is a score of 4 over the jump off track for Dylan Daly. Cinderella Z goes into second as our fastest 4. A correction behind our only clear, which still remains as Chloe Reed with Team Reed's crossover 4. Target still at 43.94 as Lucas Porter returns with the Sleepy P Ranches Kemba 171. $45.87 with 4 in the jump-off round. It goes into 4th. Lucas Porter and Kimball 171. Only clear time coming from Chloe Reed and crossover 4. The target still at 43.94. The jump-off of today's Grand Prix Qualifier sponsored by JTWG. Vanessa Hood, the first of our 3 remaining, and the rider for Israel aboard a Take 2 entry by the name of Khalida. 43.94, the time to catch. Score 4, 49-74 at the time for Vanessa Hood, and Kalita goes into 6th with another 2 in the jump off. Still Chloe Reed as her only double clear on the afternoon, leading with Team Reed's crossover 4. Dylan Daly slightly quicker, but with the knockdown sits in 2nd as our fastest to 4 falter Paul O'Shea in 3rd with Manglar LS La Cia. Olivia Sweetnam first of our 2 remaining riders, and Olivia takes up the challenge for the Sweet Oak Farm and Monica Preston with Epic 43.94, the time to catch. Fastest time, 41.62 over the jump off track, but a knockdown at number 10 for Olivia Sweetnam. And Epic had the time by a little over 2 seconds there over the bonus track. Goes into 2nd as our fastest 4 falter. Chloe Reed still leads at 43.94 with crossover 4 as our final combination joins us for the jump off round. That is Germany's Simone Wittmann with his own Cloala Donfe. Score of 8 for Simone Wittmann and Cloala Donfe at 44.70. That'll finish in 8th for the German rider in today's 3-star Grand Prix qualifier. Top call will go to Chloe Reed, our only double clear rider for today's Grand Prix qualifier, taking the top honors aboard a crossover 4 owned by Team Reed LLC. Olivia Sweetnam with our best time by a little over 2 seconds. We'll take 2nd as our fastest 4 falter with the Sweet Oak Farms and Monica Preston's Epic. Dylan Daly in 3rd with the ride for the Double C Stables with Cinderella Z. 4th place honors going to Ireland's Paul O'Shea and Manglar LS La Cia. 5th for Lucas Porter and Kimbo 171 owned by the Sleepy Pea Ranch, while it's Mark Blumen in 6th. Today riding for the SNL Farms in North Salem with SNL Hello Sunshine. 7th for Vanessa Hood and Kalita owned by Take 2 LLC. Germany Simone Wittmann and his own Cloala Donfe finishing in 8th. We had 3 that withdrew from the jump-off, tied for 9th. Quentin Judge with H.H. Griffin Van de Fink. Egypt's Nile Nassar with ESI Ali, and Shane Sweetnam with Corian von Klapshoot Z. On a single time fault from the first round is Germany's Tiara Bleicher rounding out those ribbons in 12th with her own Auto de Calvary. Today's Grand Prix Qualifier is sponsored by JTWG. JTWG Equestrian Surfaces Incorporated is one of Wellington International's most diversified and effective partners. The company, which is family-owned and operated, has extensive experience with building world-class riding arenas, as well as managing complicated maintenance projects for any size and type of facility. With extensive and worldwide connections, the professionals at JTWG are your one-stop shop for property upgrades and project management, bringing back our top three in a field of 61 for today's $62,000 Grand Prix Qualifier, sponsored by JTWG. First, we'll honor our third-place rider. Congratulations to Ireland's Dylan Daly. The ride for the Double C Stables with the mare Cinderella Z. The Zangers out by Shako Blue and the Irishman on 4 faults, so with a time of 43.70 to finish third in today's JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. Next, we'll bring forward the USA's Olivia Sweetnam, and Olivia had the time by a little over 2 seconds over the jump-off track, but the knockdown at number 10 for one of the top U25 riders in the world to finish second as our fastest four with the ride for the Sweet Oak Farm and Monica Preston. Congratulations to Olivia Sweetnam, picking up the red rosette in today's JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. And your winner here on the afternoon, she took the top honors in the Vault Insurance Speed Classic on Saturday of last week with the Chelsea, winner in our 3-star Grand Prix Qualifier this week with Team Reed's Crossover 4, our only double clear combination in a field of 61. Congratulations to the USA's Chloe Reed. Lap of honor now with our top three riders in the field for the JTWG Grand Prix Qualifier. Third, we're going to Ireland's Dylan Daly with the Double C Stables. Cinderella Z. Second for Olivia Sweetnam with Epic, owned by Monica Preston and the Sweet Oak Farm. And your winning combination, the only duo to go double clear today in our 3-star qualifier, Chloe Reed with Team Reed's Crossover 4. Setting now for today's Meter 40 Junior Amateur Jumpers. Quite a few scratches. I think we're down to about 23 now. And that field for the Meter 40 Junior Amateurs up next with their 2-phase, our final class on our Friday schedule here at the Equestrian Village Derby Field. Congratulations again to our top three. Chloe Reed with the win. Olivia Sweetnam with the time, but with 4, finishing second. Dylan Daly in third.